your mental kind of well-being, really.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, George. Whatever you said was perfect. Dee has something to say?
I agree with George, and I think expanding on that a little, I think fresh air is really important. I think if you're going to have that little break or something, go in the garden, get a bit of vitamin D, and I think that really helps to focus you, because if you're stuck in a room and you're studying all day and you're just reading, and it's the same for us as tutors, it can make you very sleepy and very stressed, and you can lose sight of what you're doing. But actually, if you just walk into the garden, have a couple of minutes walking around the garden or outside the front or something, that tends to refocus me and re-energizes me, and I find that really useful. So I think, what George is saying is right, and if you want to expand that a little bit further, think about how you use that time as well. Don't just get up and move to another room and sit down and put the telly on. It's not going to help.
Yeah, true. Kelly, you have something to say?
Yeah, just expanding what other people have said, really. I mean, my students with DET, with ELN, I mean, they're already under a lot of pressure. They're already within the education environment. So just speak to your tutor if there's something outside the education environment that you would like to discuss with your tutor. I mean, there's a lot of personal issues that people have along lines with their course. So, just speak to your tutor. Don't be too hard on yourself. To manage stress a little bit better, make sure that you use your time effectively and efficiently, and just to make sure that you value each stage of your life, and to make sure that you've got that work-life balance. I suppose if you are healthy in yourself, in your sort of personal environment and in your physical health, then your professional environment will it can't help but thrive, really. And that's sort of the basis of what I say to my students. There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. It can't be all work. You have to, incorporate your personal life as well.
Work-life balance is definitely the one thing everybody should focus on. Sana?
Hi. Yeah, definitely. On the back of what everyone else was saying, I just wanted to approach this from the angle of stigma. Because, I mean, if we look at the stats, 9 in 10 people who probably have a diagnosable mental health condition probably are scared of what people will say, or just the taboo, or, just social pressures around it. And I think that's really, really important for people who are in a stressful situation, whether it's at work or studying, because I mean, these days, competition is really high to get into good educational institutions, whatever sector you're in, to complete the qualifications. The standards for the qualifications are just getting more and more refined, and it's just getting more difficult. It's more competitive out there. And it's something that I say to my kids to explain about mental health, because I want them to grow up with healthier attitudes towards it, is because, let's say, because we're humans, right? And we have a body. So there's no one in the world, in any culture, religion, in any country in the world, who would proudly say, I've never been to a doctor my entire life. Because that's just not going to happen. You have a physical body, something's going to go wrong. You may have to go to a doctor multiple times, even within the first few years of your life, let alone throughout your life. You've gone so many times. And there's no shame in that, right? So even if it's just a case of a bad flu, or especially post-COVID or something, to get tested or to go to the doctor carries no shame. So we also have a brain, we have emotions. So it just makes sense that over a period of, whether we're talking about
thank you so much
years,
for bringing that up.
Teenagers, it's just going to happen that we are going to, at some point, need a professional to help us manage our emotions better. So I think it's time to break that generational cycle, and just read up on all of this, and just recognize that if I have a body and I can go to a doctor, then I have emotions and I have a brain. So there's no harm in talking to a therapist. And it doesn't have to be a diagnosable problem, even if it's something small. If I'm just really stressed out, or, maybe I've gone through a breakup, or anything's affecting my normal life, there's no harm in just talking to a therapist or a counselor about that.
Yeah, and there's no shame in it either.
Absolutely.
Like, we need to normalize this, that if we can go tell people that we're going to a dentist, then we can also normalize telling people we're going to see a therapist. It's okay, I'm so glad you brought that up. Dee, do you have